Sydney, Australia calling. Parlez-vous anglais?
Oui.
H. Harry, U. Uncle, T. Tommy, C. Charlie.
Slowly, please. After C. Charlie.
H. Harry, E. Edward, N. Nelly, C. Charlie, E. Edward. Hutchence.
Hutchence?
Yes. Michael Hutchence. Michael Hutchence.
Hold on, I see.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, Michael.
Charles. Good morning.
Good morning. Do the whole way, please. Do the whole way, please.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart.
The amount of experience that you go through in doing what we do is many lifetimes. The problem is holding on to a fixed point for long enough to understand it. That's the difficult part.
Exercise the devil in my mind.
What is your biggest fear in life?
I think to be without at least one love in your life, someone to love you, to be lonely, I think that's gonna be terrible.
Are you in love now?
I always remember him sitting on the floor in Andrew's bedroom saying, "Mr. Farris, I'm determined to play something," which brought roars of laughter because it was apparent he couldn't and shouldn't bother with an instrument.
Got into a fight at school. I was walking around like a little English prat from Hong Kong going, "Where's my class? What's going on here?" Got picked on in a fight and Andrew came over and pulled me out.
Andrew sucked me into playing music. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you just have to give all these buckets of charisma out to people, you know?
And that, of course, was the beginning of the famous six: Timothy, Andrew, Jonathan, Kurt Pengilly, Gary Beers.
Hello, Michael.
Michael was not a happy lad. He did not have a happy background. He used to spend a lot of time at our house. He was never in any hurry to go home. I'll simply leave it at that.
I just used to watch him and hang out with him, and it was fun, you know. Andrew gave me a microphone and said, "Do you want to sing for a while? Because I'm trying to get these drummers." And that was the beginning of the end.
Hey, Simon, where are you?
Michael would show me lyrics that he'd been working on. And I said, "These are great. What's your inspiration?" He said, "Oh, well, I've had some times when I've really had to question things, and so I read books. Herman Hesse, Siddhartha and Kyle Gibran's The Prophet." There was something different in the way he looked at things, the way he was able to articulate it. I knew he was someone really interesting.
I usually can only write about what seems to apply to
myself or my surroundings or my friends or whatever. And so it must be that way. I'll have to explain it that way.
I used to hang out with Ananda. She was a poet, very young poet, kind of advanced for her years, really. She got me into all this beat scene, Ferlinghetti and Ginsberg. The power of words became apparent to me.
On that night I was in full slave get-up with all the leather crisscrosses, hardly anything on at all except for a collar and a lead. I was with my boyfriend at the time, then I met Michael, and sometime very soon after that I was just with Michael. He turned out to be a very sweet-natured person. He didn't have a lot of rules, he just wanted you to be happy. There's no aphrodisiac like being listened to sincerely. He had a genuine artistry, an artist's eye and sensibility about the world and himself. We read books together and we used to listen to lyrics together and work out what they meant. Oscar Wilde, Charles Bukowski, and Dylan Thomas, Under Milkwood. I remember him reading The Picture of Dorian Gray, and he really loved that image of there being a picture somewhere where all your evil and bad living shows up, and you remain youthful and sweet. Michael used to say that he didn't know what love was, so I would go, I love you, and he would go, I don't know what love is. During that time, men in suits kept turning up. Band management, they seemed to have lots of plans for these young men.
I go down to the Stage Door Tavern, this little band comes on stage, and next minute this quirky little skinny guy came on and I was like, So I went backstage and introduced myself to them. I said, okay guys, this thing about management, I'll only do it on the basis that we do it internationally. Michael's hand went up like a school kid. He goes, yes, I'm in. So I said, okay, well, it's going to be very serious. I'm going to work you guys at dogs.
We played everywhere, hundreds of shows a year.
Until record companies had to sign us because we had such a big audience.
When are you touring? We're touring right now. This Monday we start.
Right.
And we take off for about 2 or 3 weeks everywhere.
And it was 5-6 shows a week. Melbourne on a Saturday, back to do a Sydney show on Sunday, 2 shows on a Sunday. A lot of travelling, a lot of driving up and down. Michael was just one of the guys. One big happy family. Michael always just had that aura about him. The other 5 guys felt that as well. He always had star qualities. It was just a matter of getting that to the world.
When Michael began to realise and get the confidence that he could sing things he believed in, that's when it all really started to happen for us.
He really wanted to be a real artist of some kind, working towards a lifelong body of work. He was working very practically towards becoming famous. I didn't know how profoundly meaningful it was to him. His desire for fame really fell into context for me when I met his mum.
My parents used to have some good parties occasionally and play a lot of soul music and that kind of stuff. Always, there'd be this period of the night when they would put on this record by Serge Gainsbourg called Je t'aime. That would be the signal for the kids to go. So we'd always go, no, not this song. We had no idea really what it meant. But I do remember it being a very evocative atmosphere and the sexuality of it being very strong. And it impressed me that a piece of music could have such an impact on a room.
My sister, who's a bit older, she's a go-go dancer. She used to rehearse with her girlfriends in the house. I liked rehearsal. A lot of Motown stuff, everything, a lot of music.
Supremes, Dion, Diana Ross, James Brown. I always had a soft spot for the Beatles, especially John Lennon. The Bee Gees doing Lonely Days, Lonely Nights.
Electric Warrior, because I just loved Mark Bolan.
Aretha Franklin's voice, Singing Respect. They got me into singing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hong Kong. The local time is 5:18 p.m. On behalf of Captain...
My dad's a real wanderer, like me, and he's been all over the place. We just moved to Hong Kong. He was a manager at the Gandy Price, which imported all the Moet Chandon. That's why we had so many parties.
We lived at the Hong Kong Hilton for the first 2 months.
My room.
The boys thought that was just our house. They'd jump in the lifts. They knew how to push those buttons, and they'd go up and down. Mother and I would be up and down trying to find them.
I had all sorts of friends, from little children of very wealthy parents to just hanging out in the streets with Chinese kids down in the markets and stuff like that. I learned a lot.
I was managing a children's wear department. We needed a little fashion show. So naturally I grabbed the boys. Michael was probably 9 or 10. The day of, Rhett just got out there and he's making faces. Michael's not so sure about this. He's looking and then sort of pushed him on there, and all of a sudden he walked out and he did see the people. His face changed. He got into it. He started really enjoying himself. Turned around, he's winking at me, which surprised me because he was a shy kid. Michael's report cards always said things like, Michael is a dreamer. Michael doesn't concentrate. Michael won't get anywhere if he keeps this up. He was a dreamer. We didn't know what he was dreaming about. When he said he was going to sing with this band, that just surprised the heck out of me. Here's this kid who didn't want to walk into a room full of people, let alone sing.
Anticipation. Anxiety.
It was just a presence, something behind me, someone staring, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't look. He was really shy, but he did make a point of walking up and asking if I was leaving. I didn't think too much more about it until I met him again. He just eyeballed me. When he focuses on you, it's hard to ignore. It draws you in and draws things out. I'd never experienced anything like that. He was just very, very different from anyone I'd met. It swept me off my feet. He came across as a little bit pretentious because he started to spout Sartre and Camus and existentialism. I think he thought it was pretty impressive.
I think you'd be really boring if we stayed here.
Yeah? I just contemplate all the time.
Contemplating philosophers.
No, I would actually. I got a really old 1919 Citroen, which I drove from Melbourne to Sydney. And it was great, it was wonderful. It's the best car I've ever driven in my life.
Hi, Michelle.
I just put all my things in this car that wasn't registered. I didn't know he didn't have a licence. And we moved to this house in Paddington.
Michelle walked through the door and it was this drop-dead gorgeous young girl.
Michelle! Michelle!
Immediately very warm and funny, and I loved her right from the first moment.
Happy!
They were like two peas in a pod. The wild hair and the big smiles. That was true love to me.
Hello, this is Michael Hutchence, an old life documentary. Over here we have what's commonly known as London Bridge.
He was a drifter. I don't remember him ever having a stack of records or a record player or anything. He sort of came one night into Michelle's room and there were always clothes strewn around the floor, and that was Michael. You just knew he deeply loved her. You knew he was in awe of her. And he really felt he had a little family in that house, to be loved, to be cared about and supported, and we did.
He loved Christmases and he needed his own little tribe around him.
He didn't want to go on tour at different times, he just wanted to stay in the house with us because it was a load of fun.
Fuck it at the party.
Once he was nearly in tears going away and saying, I just want to stay here with you guys.
Bye.
Oh, yes! Let me hear you!
Fucking hell.
INXS from Sydney.
The audiences were suddenly out there, knew the words, and we were getting some great reactions, surprising reactions.
Well, you know just what you do to me, the way you move, soft and...
He was really like a rock star waiting to happen. They just needed to have the hit records. I mean, he was the complete package, which is a really strange thing to come across. Very strange.
At that point, it was just unrelenting touring, arriving in one city, sound check, playing, driving through the night to the next place. You'd never stay in any place long enough to experience a city or its culture. And I just loathed it.
Yeah, Michelle, where are we? San Francisco, with flowers and
He didn't like being apart. He didn't like being apart from his friends either. He wanted you to be with him. He did not like to be alone. He needed to feel like he belonged somewhere, and I think that was part of the reason why INXS was a family to him.
Hi, Michelle. This is us in London. See you very soon. Miss you very much.
He loved coming home to the house. He really missed it. She was her own person, and she didn't take the bullshit, and very easily could see through people, someone who wasn't genuine, and she had no problems about showing that.
Michelle, we're going home. My man, my bell.
Are you driving?
Michael did love that about her.
What? You can't have an ice cream. Sick of you asking all the time, Michelle. You filming? Honey, like the view? It's nice, huh? So glad we came out here.
Time to look into flagging and watch Countdown.
Let's go to the US top 5 for this week and look at number 5. What you need in excess for the US chart. Congratulations. Yeah!
Hey! What do you need?
Chris came into a show in Tokyo and he came backstage and he said, "Oh, it was the best gig I've ever seen in my life." We thought, well, this guy's pretty enthusiastic. We decided to go in the studio and see what could happen.
Andrew brought in this demo of this riff. And I thought, wow, I thought, James Brown, everybody's going to dance to it. And we started it the next day, and on the Friday night, I took a rough mix to Benny's. I asked them to pop this on, and it had an immediate physical effect on everybody in there, and I thought, yep, I think we've cracked it.
Ciao, un saluto a Radio 4 da INXS.
It was incredible. You suddenly get this feeling that people know who you are and you really exist in their lives, in their minds, and they really are enjoying it, and they're enjoying your music, and it's a great feeling, and it really urges you on.
Cool, it's beautiful. It's time to see it in Australia, do it?
He was always the first person to arrive at the studio. He was really watching everything. He was the one who had a real idea of where things should go. He really did have an instinct for the whole thing. I was learning stuff from him. He wrote most of the top lines for those songs, the actual tune that the singer sings. He wasn't just writing words, he was writing melodies.
With the innocence and how you crying, just pick it up and throw it into a shade. Oh, what do you say?
Michael off stage was as far removed as a rock star as was possible. He's one of the loveliest people I've ever met, without any question of a doubt.
She's from Australia.
He had such a presence about him. He could look you in the eye and make you feel like you're the only person in the room. And he could do it if you're a male or a female. He could do it to kids. He could do it to animals. He just had that way about him.
I actually can't see more than about 10 foot. I got my eyes tested once and I was actually blind. I thought everybody saw it like that. And I got contact lenses and I was like, wow, trees have leaves from 100 foot. Then I did a concert and terrified me. I haven't seen an audience for a good 10 years. It's my secret. If I see that fucking audience out there, I fucking run!
Andrew Ferris on keyboards.
I don't think Mike was a particularly good singer when we first started. I think he was just a good guy. He was my friend. But he developed unbelievably exponentially as a talent, as a person on stage, and as a singer. Michael became a really good singer, an amazing singer. I don't even know how to describe it.
Helpless, baby. Evil child.
It
It really bothers me that he didn't really understand just how great a voice he had.
You want me again?
It had this fragility just underneath the bravado.
He just sang with such passion and such incredible personality.
He just became an incredible singer, a really incredible singer.
Baby, that's all right.
We've never changed a key in our life. I mean, Michael sang anything that we wrote. With a full voice, with a low voice, night after night, week after week. He never missed a beat.
I remember asking Michael what his definition of rock and roll was. He said liberation.
He always wanted to be stimulated in terms of music and art. He was motivated more by getting creative satisfaction out of what he was doing and making his mark.
This isn't what you think it is on a plane. We wouldn't do that.
Would spend mind-numbing hours talking to Michael about theatre, art, literature, painting, all the pretentious knobby stuff that we kind of got into. And there was certainly a plethora of things that would seem to be much more interesting than pop music.
I'm reading Les Enfants Terribles, Cocteau.
Ooh.
It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're reading it in the French version?
No, sorry.
You were just showing off, giving me the French title here.
Yeah, just showing off.
So you're an
English,
intellectual.
but I think, no, I'm not intellectual. I know some intellectuals. That's why I know I'm not an intellectual.
He had some spirit that made his persona an extension of how he was. The person that you saw as a performer had the same generosity of spirit that he had as a human being.
Michael told me around that time that he felt that Michelle was too good for him, that she held him too tight a moral line.
Here we go. Oh, God. It's the lead singer. Is he happy or what? We don't know yet.
Oh, it's fine.
We broke up, got back together, broke up, got back together. And then this one time where he said, no, this is the time it's going to work. That's when I said, you must spend some time on your own and just think about what you want, because I don't believe this is what you want. The whole thing was a disaster, and I remember him just ringing me up and just saying, you've made me do this and it's just the worst idea. And when he came back to Sydney, it was torturous. We were just coming at things from completely different directions and it was not working. Michael ripped the Band-Aid off. He called it, and it was very hurtful, but it was the best thing to do. He threw it back on me that I was never satisfied. I wasn't happy, and he couldn't change anything, and I couldn't change anything. He just saw it for what it was, whereas I was hoping for some sort of solution, and I don't know what that would have been.
I've never seen her as distraught. It just tore into me because she was like family to me. And I was sitting there beside her and she just had no idea. Why is he doing this? What's going on? And why have you done this? The one person who's the best thing in your life.
He did love her. I know he did. They were an absolutely delightful couple, destined to be together forever. He was very unhappy about that.
The connection between them was phenomenal. For years and years afterwards, almost with every relationship he had, he was always calling her.
Don't ask me.
Who are you saying it to? Who don't you want to be torn apart from?
Well, just kind of personal.
I love your precious heart.
So I don't make up love songs, so it's definitely a song for a girl called Michelle.
Does she know?
Yeah, she knows, but we're not together anymore, so it doesn't work, does it?
Never tear us apart.
Michael,
Michael Hutchence. He's hot, he's rad, he's like the thing right now, and I want him. Michael Hutchence!
For 1,000 years, but if I hurt you.
Things just got bigger and bigger and bigger as we went along, and you're thinking, this can't keep happening. It's very exciting. It was a long tour, it was 1.5 years, and it felt like 10 by the end of it.
This is massive. The Kick album changed everything. We wanted to get success. We didn't dream it was going to become quite that intense.
I never really actually consciously went around going, I really want to be big and all that stuff. I'm a very unconsciously purposeful person.
So from the fantasy to the reality that, oh, this is actually happening, that became very tricky because I wasn't very comfortable with it. So I invented a persona to deal with the necessity of getting through it. I enjoyed it, but I had to create something that kept me inside as well.
It's probably 3 people, maybe 4 or 5. It's probably a person that does interviews as well.
I've got to let you know. And the winner is In Excess.
In excess, in excess, in excess, in excess!
Support animal and human rights, and hello, Mum.
In Excess is the first non-American group to land 6 consecutive top 10 hits in the Hot 100 since Culture Club in 1983-84.
Wow. I don't like the idea of goals. I don't like the idea of success. It's very limiting. And as soon as you say you're successful, then that's it. You might as well stop. Whatever success means. I'm not quite sure what success means.
For the second year in a row, the Australian music industry recognizes the outstanding achievement of In Excess. 2 weeks ago, they entered the US top 5 with What You Need.
We all knew the ground was shifting, so we could only imagine how intense it must have been for Michael as well.
Absolutely, he was overworked. The day was always filled. He would go on 20 interviews a day, then have to do a show, then have to go to the next city. And everyone wanted a piece of him.
Yeah, cigarette after that. Which one, John? What's this?
Touring, it's 2 hours a day. But, you know, they're the 2 hours that I really enjoy. You got 22 other hours a day that all kinds of weird things happen. And the 3 months out on the road mean nothing. It's only 2 hours a day that matter. That's how I work. That's why I'm here.
Michael was different. He needed different things. He was a different animal.
I'm not miserable about it at all. I mean, I enjoy it, but
it definitely started to take its toll on him.
The continual grind of In Excess, well, I think it played on all of them.
Anything to say before the jig?
No, I was just a bit tired actually. I wouldn't mind going home to sleep. Yeah.
it's a lot of hours.
How far do you want to go with that principle? Sacrifice yourself to abandon.
About another 3 months.
And then?
They were the hardest working band that I'd ever known. They needed to be treated with a bit more respect, I thought.
It was a whirlwind, and he was the lead guy and a cover guy, which was a lot to take on, because he was still a young man.
You have to really take a step back from yourself and make a hobby to be normal or something. If you don't, You lose what you started with, you know. Simple as that.
At the Grammys, which were in New York, being aired worldwide, Michael walked on stage with his hair really short, not the most attractive Michael, and Kirk turned to his wife and said, "Put away your credit cards, we're done."
I got sick of myself. There's a lot of people out there that sort of look like me, I think, or I look like them, and I just didn't want any part of it anymore.
Michael came to me and he said, "I want to do a solo album." I said, "You can't. It's crazy. You look like an idiot." There's very few solo acts that sell through. And the fan base doesn't really follow you because they see you as a deserter, because they're into the army concept. I said, "Well, you do it without me. I'm not going to take part of it."
Chris hated the idea. His view was, you are going to mess up everybody's career.
I'm sitting in a bar, staring at the universe that's in my drink. The motion of my straw is stirring anti-clockwise in the glass.
I got together some infamous musicians from Melbourne who were really good.
I recall the moments where
Ollie Olsen and Gus Till were extremely talented, as everyone else was. It just kind of unfolded. It was an experiment with all kinds of people.
I've heard of a few of his bands, and I knew about his past, and I knew that he was trying to do something musically that I hadn't got anywhere near, that's for sure.
the years have etched stupidity into my skull. I condemn my foolish.
Given at the point he was with the pop group, I find it admirable that he would want to take a detour and pursue something that had much, much more of an art thrust. And that dichotomy makes Michael more interesting than your average pop singer of the time. Ollie is just one of those rare folk who occasionally taps into something genuinely original or brilliant or just stunning. And I think Michael saw that.
Idea of business at all.
There's an emotional intensity that sometimes pop music doesn't allow you. I think that's what he was after, his own version of a primal scream. One thing that must be said about Michael, despite trying to put him into some kind of sexy rock god pop singer thing, he actually wanted to be an artist and recognized as being an artist. That was his Achilles heel, that he thought other people were better artists, they got credit for being artists, where he got credit for being able to shake his ass and be like a sex god.
And now Max Q.
And now Max Q.
Sometimes
Chris flies in. Chris goes, "Look, I got the greatest marketing idea. We're gonna pretend it's not you. That way, this will never hurt you. It won't hurt INXS." Brilliant man, Chris Murphy, and great marketing ideas, but this one was his worst.
I go up and meet with the record company and played some tracks. Then that guy rang Chris and said, "Mate, Gary, play me some of the Max Q stuff." I love it. Chris's reaction was, "How dare you do that? You have nothing to do with Max Q."
I kept getting calls, "How's it doing? How's it doing? How's what doing? How am I working something that we're not supposed to use, Michael? So ridiculous." That's when Michael lost his feeling for this person who he loved very much. He just felt like, how could you not see that I need to do other things? That pretty much ended their friendship and their relationship. I think it confused him whether he wanted to be part of INXS and whether he wanted to take on all the pressures of being Michael Hutchence.
Why did I do that? I did that in a perverse reaction to what had happened to the band and to me. And I had a hell of a time, except I forgot to tell the band I was going to do it.
I'll never forget Andrew calling me and going, I just saw you on television in your new band. What's it called? Oh, MXQ. Yes.
Are you the captain of the INXS ship as well?
No, I'm not. I'm just a part of a collective group of people.
I'm the mutineer, and I take over.
He's in charge of mutiny.
Riding on a boat in Amsterdam City. Looking pretty good.
How you doing?
How many songs
on the new album are about sex?
Well, probably most of them, one way or another.
They call me the wild rose, but my name was Eliza Day. Why they call me that I do not know, for my name was Eliza Day.
Kylie.
First day I saw her,
I went to see INXS play their gig in Sydney. We were invited back to the hotel. That's where I first spoke to Michael, in his hotel room after a gig. This one point, he and I were sat on the edge of the bed talking about something to help you with your vocals if you run into trouble as a performer. So he was telling me about these kind of magical drops for your throat. That was our first bond. I was going to Hong Kong shortly after that, and he asked if he could take me to dinner in Hong Kong and give me the magical potion, which now I think was pretty much a ruse. So I'm in Hong Kong with my manager, my mother, my hairdresser, and about 6 dancers. The clock ticks, the time passes. There's no sign of him, and my team are just getting really riled about this. Eventually he rocks up 2 hours late. So we do go out, he takes me out, and clearly there was something between us, a frisson.
and any woman I'd see, and I said, do you know where the wild roses grow, so sweet and scarlet and free?
I don't know how long it was after Hong Kong, but he asked if it would be okay if he could fly to Kyoto to see me. He flew over, we were free, no one really recognised either of us. Our relationship was solidified there. Yeah, we became a couple.
They call me the wild rose.
Sex, love, food, drugs, music, travel, books, you name it, he wanted to experience it. So as his partner, I got to experience a lot of that as well. I felt very safe with him. I felt protected.
Okay, it's okay. We are now on the Orient Express on June 26th. This is an American couple filming this young Australian couple who are here to have a great time. You're on the air.
Kylie's really not the person that people think she is. Because we can understand each other's experience, how much it takes, the pressures, all that sort of thing. And there's a lot of equality, a lot of strength, a lot of support for each other because we're both going through that sort of stuff. Kylie's got this real sweet, innocent image, and what the hell is she doing with me? And vice versa.
The storybook of this is that he's like the dark bad boy and I was the pure good girl. And that was pretty much the truth.
Did you get the Motor Guzzi? Got one?
If you're a sensual being, all of your senses need stimulation. He definitely awakened my desire for other things in my world. He loved seeing me experiencing a new wine or me learning about a new pleasure. A lot of it was based around pleasure, let's face it.
Kylie. Kylie.
We went on the Orient Express, went to see Statue of David, and, you know, I'm crying. I'm like, this didn't happen on my school excursion. Why is it happening with you? One of the first ways I would describe Michael is insatiable curiosity. All the good things in life and some of the bad things in life. It opened up a whole new world for me, it really did. Then the problem was just scheduling, finding the time to see each other.
Got our managers with the computers out trying to align our lives so we're not on tour and stuff at different ends of the world all the time.
Michael, this is where I normally kiss you and, do kind of cool things like that.
A lot of our relationship was faxing from one hotel to another hotel. The fax was the current technology to send a personal message. And of course that had to go through reception, be printed, put in an envelope, put under your door. You couldn't write anything too personal. It was very exciting to see that envelope and open it and see what's the message today. And to see his handwriting and what he would write. They were our 1990s love notes. Very cute. Jones was my mother's maiden name and Gabby was our dog. And his was Swordfish. I don't know why. Swordfish. Not the best speller, I have to say.
He'll film you.
Still on. Movie star.
Oh.
Movie star in Italy.
In Italy.
I just think for me we met at the perfect time because I was old enough to take care of myself but young enough to just see and feel and experience all this new stuff.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's fantastic. The smell of pine.
It smells of everything. It smells of life.
Life, exactly.
That's the real meaning. It smells of life. Fucking life.
He gave me a book which I loved, which was Perfume, the Story of a Murderer. And he gave it to me when we were in the south of France.
Black cherries. Got one? There we go. The cherry tree.
Oh, they're nice.
They're great.
Wow, they're divine.
That was a really poignant book to give me at the time because it was about discovery and obsession, addiction, and the senses.
One night, like 4 a.m, he rousted me out of bed. He wanted to show us this area that was from the book Perfume.
He smells everything so acutely and unbelievably well. He spends 20 years of his life smelling everything. But he has no smell of his own. He says, well, I'll make my own smell, make a human smell. But it's not good enough. And then one day, he smells a smell. It smells like peaches. And he follows the smell across the left bank onto the right bank in Paris. Comes to a window. It's a young virgin girl eating peaches. He has never smelled anything like her. He's never known about a woman or a girl. He makes 20 perfumes out of 20 virgins. Until he's the most notorious murderer in the world. He escapes to these mountains. These mountains here. This is where they grow all the flowers for all the perfume in the world. Here, right here. Like my house, the lavender I showed you, all right here. He is the greatest perfumer in all of the world. Eventually he says, I'll go back to Paris. And I say, I'm sorry. When he comes back, and they catch him, all of Paris goes insane. And they're going to behead him. He says, I have one last wish. Give me my bag. Give me my bag. And he put all the perfumes into one. And he goes, perfume comes out across Paris. The whole city turns into an orgy. They tear him apart.
I've never come across paparazzi like that, which is a bit of a shock. Being in so much limelight, it doesn't let you naturally evolve.
How do you think about following up something like Kick?
Try not to. The leaps we'd made in such a short period of time were pretty substantial. So we felt like we had to make another one. I think we got a little lost in there. I guess in some ways you start believing that you're capable of anything, but all you're capable of doing is really being true to yourself, if possible.
Because of his creativity, I think he was scared of repeating himself, which is the reason why he started to do a bit of writing with Johnny. Johnny played me this demo. Michael started singing the bits of words that he'd written. It came to the bit where he starts going do 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 do. I haven't written the words for that bit. I said, you have. You just sing that. There was a very, very unpleasant face-off between Andrew and Michael. Andrew and Chris Murphy didn't want to have Disappear on the record because Andrew hadn't written it. It was very nasty. Michael didn't really answer back. Somehow, we managed to force it onto the record, and of course it was the biggest single that they had in America off that album.
Through it all, he really had a sense of what was good and proper. I know he never would have wanted to hurt anyone. He did end up hurting me, but he wouldn't have enjoyed it one bit.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Kylie says hello to Michael. I'm going to make a school teaching it. Message to Michael video. Hi. Hey, this is a video to Michael.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael. Say hi, Michael. Mum and Yvonne. Hi.
I was in Japan again, and things were not going well. This trip that I had to do to get to him in New York was ridiculous on an already ridiculous schedule. He picked me up at the airport in New York in a limousine, met me at the gate. It felt loving, yet sad, and probably doomed. We talked through things, and I couldn't give you an actual reason. The room was dark, the curtains were drawn. He was on all fours on the floor crying. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was happening. Like, where have you gone? I don't know if that was associated with any guilt of having to break my heart and know what I would go through after that. Was it work? Was it drugs? I don't know. I just know he was like a broken man. I'd never seen any man like that before. It was like he was cocooning himself into this, like, you know, rolled in a ball in there. It was, yeah. So I left pretty confounded and destroyed, and I knew that was it. Yeah, he broke my heart. I have to confess, the hurt stays for quite a long time.
I can't stop thinking about you.
I think I realised in that time that this was beyond me. It was a bigger story.
Sometimes, no matter how much love two people can have for each other, it doesn't always make things right. It's not always the right thing to be together. It could be the worst thing you can do.
My mother was very aware that when she walked into a room, all eyes would go toward her through her whole life. My mother had been a very successful model. They really didn't have makeup artists around that time, so she started to learn. My mother's mother raised me till I was 11. I don't remember my dad. Kel was so charming. He really did have that David Niven look about him. They were married within a month. They were very much the couple about town, going to lots of dinner parties, very glamorous, a lot of models, lots of very attractive friends. I didn't go to live with her until she was 6 months pregnant with Michael. It was quite a volatile marriage from the start. Mother and Kel had this lifestyle, but they had this baby. They were both used to being single. My mother was not really prepared for this little baby that would take up so much time and change her life so much. And neither was Kel. His job always took him overseas from 2 weeks to 2 months. Mother had 12, 14-hour days. I don't think they had thought it through. They just left him with me. And it was for longer and longer periods of time. I was a good babysitter. My mother would be working on a commercial. I'd come home from school. The babysitter would hand Michael to me. It was us. I would just love in the mornings if I could be the first one into the nursery and Michael would be standing up in his cot. He was a very smiley baby, very, very happy, easygoing baby. He was mine. Michael was about 2.5 when Rhett arrived. That was much harder. Michael was a pleaser. You really didn't hear no from him. Where Rhett, his first word was no, it was so obvious that Michael was the chosen one. Rhett felt it. You knew that this child was feeling it. He was a really angry kid.
Why didn't you take singing lessons?
All the money that Mum gave me for singing lessons I gave to my brother Michael. Hence I can't sing.
I was 12, Michael was about 14. We both got off the bus walking home. There was a car in the driveway they hadn't seen before. And I got into the house, opened up the front door, and I noticed that some of the stuff in the living room was all packed up. Mum came down and she literally had 2 airplane tickets flapping in her hand. And there was a little old lady standing behind her. Mum said to Michael, I want you to pack your bag, and there was a suitcase on his bed. And Mum explained to me that they were going to America. I did go to the airport and I was screaming and crying, please take me with you. Michael just wanted to get away from the scene, the screaming. It was just too much. And so he dragged Mum through immigration and off they went. She took Michael away for 1.5 years and left me with this darling angel lady.
Come on, everybody.
There's a family shot.
Okay, the text. Let's get the text out there.
I had a phone call. It was the middle of the night, and it was Kel. He was sobbing. She's left and she's taken my Michael.
My dad was shell-shocked. He had no idea this was coming at all.
And Rhett was at the airport. That's the terrible, heart-wrenching thing.
Michael knew for 3 months at least before I asked him if we should do it, if he'd like to come with me, and he said yes. He kept it a secret, as I did. Michael knew that he was going.
I heard it from him so many times. He will never forget leaving his brother Rhett behind. It just tore him apart. He felt like he didn't deserve the success. He felt guilt.
Dad was away quite a lot trying to set up a company in Maitland. I've got these darling angels. Darling angel are like surrogate nannies that you call up if you need somebody to look after a child. I went through 7 of them. One of the second or third last ones, she OD'd on heroin. She was in the bathroom with a bikie, and he's got her under the shower trying to revive her. Then the last one I had, Ziggy, she introduced me to marijuana when I was 13. When they finally came back 1.5 years later, Michael was a lot bigger, a lot smarter, dressed differently. And he had a sense of self for the first time. I got mixed up in heroin when I was about 16 or so. I didn't have any direction in life of what I wanted to be or where I wanted to go. He let me go for a long time doing what I was doing, because no matter what love he'd put in, it wasn't manifesting in my stopping. Of course, he didn't want to have to identify my body in a morgue one day. He just wanted me to be doing the normal things. I think he felt that he needed to step in and point me in the right direction. There was one point in our life where he gave me a hard love thing. I went to rehab in '92. After the rehab, I think he saw that I was trying to make a change and brought me back into his life again. He always thought I had potential. He always told me I could do whatever I wanted.
Some people are like this, and all of us are like it at one time or another. People use something to take care of that, to kill the pain.
Love you.
Love. Love is a many splendid thing.
It was around 3 a.m. I was sleeping, and the phone rang. It was Herb. We had just done the Chris Isaak video. He goes, "Hey, Helena. No, I'm just here with a friend of mine. You should talk to this guy. His name is Michael."
No. Oh, sorry. You know what? I'm having a pretty good time here. If you want to come by, it'd be great. Don't kill yourself, but if you're still up, you know. We have dogs, we have geese, we have chickens, we have lions, and we have woman!
We have dogs, we have geese, we have love, we have peace. And everything else you dream of.
We were matchmates, to be honest. And then we started talking over the days, and we didn't see each other for 2 months. Then we met, eventually. I brought a coffee and a Danish.
He just seemed so joyful, sweet, deep and emotional, kind, profound and funny. Total mental and physical chemistry.
I'm in love and living in Paris.
This is a record. This is a record. This is a recording.
This is virtual reality.
Sure. It's happening right now. Here we have a rock star of our times. How do you feel having such an adorable chest? What a wonderful heart.
This afternoon, you're going to be able to see Jesus Jones, Deborah Harry, Hot House Flowers, and INXS.
And oh my God, he was so intoxicatingly good on that stage, you know, it just elevated your mood. He just becomes one with the music. I was blown away.
Cause I'm gonna be free. Realize what we're doing here. Time has arrived to kill your fears. Bitter tears, but you're so sweet, honey. Let's see my way for the first time in years.
Michael had that very alluring, magnetic energy about him. You know, when there's one person in a room that has a special light and everyone's drawn to that, that was him. When we finally had time together, it would be Paris, where I was living, and he would come and stay with me. So that's probably the city that we spend most time in. And then south of France in the summers.
Tonight we got a special report on south of France. And I'm so lucky to have some of my best friends among me.
Okay, just can we record this?
I wanna be loved by you. Nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you. We do, ba, ba, we do.
It was like an explosion of intense personalities, all wanting to have fun. And we would drive from house to house, have lunch in one place, dinner in another place, party in a third. It was the most decadent, wonderful times that I've had in my life. He loved his home down there.
We got this gorgeous young lad sitting over here by the left. And he looks very mischievous, doesn't he? And he will now speak into this little speaker, telling us about his innermost feeling.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's just great being here, sitting around these beautiful women, having a wonderful time. It's all going to be fabulous. See you soon.
He loved women, but he was very committed when he was with somebody. Very homey, really. He wanted to just nest.
We walk into this olive grove. He says, you know the thing about olive trees? I said, what? He says, they're immortal. He says, there's olive trees that go back 2,000 years. There's olive trees older than Christianity. I said, these ones? I said, I don't think so. But they're old, and we'll never be.
I would get calls from Kel to say, do you know where Michael is? And I'd get calls from Mother. They wouldn't call each other. And then Michael realized that if he would suggest it, the two of them would come. We were all there. It was the most wonderful Christmas. Michael was the center.
I'm taking a shot of Michael's house in Roquefort-le-Pin in France. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and it's just beautiful down here. Just absolutely exquisite.
It was 85 when I met up with Kel, who had come over to work in Hong Kong because China was opening up. He had actually been divorced 10 years at that point. We met, had dinner at the Hong Kong Club, and a year later we were married. Michael and Rhett were at the wedding, very happy event. Michael had gone through a bit of a tumultuous time as far as his parents, but when he came back to Hong Kong, it was like he found his father again. And he was so happy, and of course, so was Kel. One night we were in Lang Kwai Fong. Kel and I were dining, and Michael was there with another group. He came up and he joined us, and he was so happy, and he said to me, "Isn't he an angel?"
He was a gentleman, and he was a charmer, and every time I've introduced a girl to my dad, the first things they said when they walked away was, "I love your dad."
Kel was like that, always fussing over women, making them feel terrific. He made you feel at ease. Michael just learned that, just watching.
How would you actually like to celebrate the turn of the century?
Not that far away, is it? Yeah, well, I'll be 40. Well, I made a deal with my old man that we'd be sitting around having a bottle of champagne. So let's hope that happens.
We were riding home on our bikes, and we stopped to get pizza. He was stopped in the middle of a tiny, very narrow road and was eating his pizza. This insane taxi driver yelled at Michael to move, got out of his car, and punched him. He fell backwards and hit the curb. He was unconscious, and there was blood coming out of his mouth and ear. I thought he was dead. We get to the hospital, and he woke up and was aggressive. They were trying to make him stay, but he was physically pushing them away. They thought he was drunk. He insisted he wanted to go, and they let him go. What I don't understand is why the hospital didn't keep him. For a month, he lay in bed in my apartment. He was throwing up most of the time. He should have been in hospital, but he was aggressively against it. I would bring him food, but most of it he would just push away. Like, he got almost violent. This dark, very angry side came out in him. And it was only when he slowly, after a month, got out of that state that he was able to make the decision in going to Paris to see a highly esteemed surgeon. He got the scan. He had a fissure to his skull, and the nerves had been torn. He most likely would never regain his sense of smell and taste. He did not want me to tell anyone. He didn't even allow me to tell my parents. We kept seeing doctors, kept asking, can those nerves be reconnected? And we're always told that that would be impossible. He broke down and he would be like, I'm never gonna be able to smell my baby. When I have a child, I will never smell that child. Things just got really heavy in his head.
My head was smashed onto a road. I spent a couple of weeks sort of talking in tongues and stuff. Finally, I'm fine now. But the good thing about it is these kind of experiences really sort you out a lot, and they make you realize, you know, make you realize what's important, what's not important in your life, and so I've been happy for it in a way, strange way.
Just after the accident, we went to the island of Capri to make Full Moon Dirty Hearts. And right from the get-go, Michael was kind of different. I remember him smashing Andrew's really beautiful vintage acoustic guitar one night just for fun. And it was like, wow, what's happened to Michael? He just didn't seem himself at all.
It was quite clear that Michael was suffering from some serious brain damage. And Michael ordinarily was not an aggressive, confrontational, or violent person.
Take your fucking...
I just felt this incredible, overwhelming sense of sadness. This is not the Michael that I know.
You never knew what you were going to get. Some days he was really normal Michael, and then other days he was just this aggressive, violent monster. Virtually was bipolar. He was just very erratic in his behaviour, but also in what we were trying to do musically. He certainly had got sucked into the grunge thing, and there was a lot of times where he would stop everything and go, you've got to listen to this. This is what we're going to be doing. So I had huge arguments with Michael over that. He was trying to make it a lot more not in excess.
Things were magnified. Erratic conversations, obsessive conversations, repeating of conversations. That wasn't him.
We're gonna go complete mind blank here. Sorry, we went. I'm gonna start to. Do you have any notes on when we started? We've got to use your name, a producer, yeah.
Well, I'm sure I've got notes on the producer.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Bloody hell.
Nick Launay?
Nick Launay.
There you go.
Lost it.
I spent about a year what I call sensitizing. And it's like taking your knuckles and rubbing them raw and really, really feeling things. Not just having knowledge, but feeling, really feeling.
For someone like Michael, losing the sense that really gives you that primal connection to sensual hedonism, which is the sense of smell, that would be really devastating to someone who is already engineered that way. That would have also really crushed someone who lived the rock star dream of exuding this sensuality and sexuality as he was singing and performing and just being him. His experience of food would have been totally denuded.
This is what we can do. We can barbecue a whole one.
That's it.
And you get from the actual garden, we barbecue it with twigs, wrapped in twigs.
All he would be experiencing is the feel of foods in his mouth, creaminess or crunchiness. People don't understand how important the sense of smell is until they lose it. The part of the brain where smell is processed and the part of the brain where emotions and associations get formed are directly linked. When people lose their sense of smell, they start losing their sense of self. Like we're floating in outer space. You can still see things, you can hear things, but there's this absence and this emptiness. It gets worse over time. It doesn't get better. It becomes more of an obvious loss, more of a hole in one's being.
People don't mind if you kill yourself. They're quite happy about it. The lead story, yeah.
Yeah, well, I hope I don't become a lead star.
I hope you don't do it.
There was never so much conflict as post-push bike accident. There was quite a significant change in Michael. He was very, very moody. He didn't handle alcohol anywhere near like he used to, and he seemed to crave more danger in his life, whether it be with relationships or drugs or anything. That was the start of Michael's rage against the world.
Andrew says the only thing we've got in common is that we're in excess, which I think is, in some ways, fairly true.
Because I search for reasons why I would still like to get in a room together. Definitely. Because you better have a really good reason after 17 years. Mm-hmm. It's more than half my life, you know?
Things changed after the bicycle accident. I think he was very, very traumatized. He confessed to me that it changed everything for him. What was just a sweet insecurity became a deep insecurity. He kind of lost his way and forgot who he was.
There were many comparisons with U2 and INXS. He loved U2, he respected them, but it made him feel more insecure. He was frustrated because they went from really huge venues, including Wembley, to this additional idea of let's make the venues very small, like going back to pubs. I had agents calling me, record companies calling me, saying this is the most ludicrous thing. That was a very big mistake. Things started going the other way.
He had a very bad sense of separating the good from the bad, or the ones who are just taking advantage. He should have just been around good people at all times, and unfortunately he got dragged into something else. He was so extremely talented, but always feeling like he wasn't. I had not experienced depression in anyone, so I didn't really know how to deal with it. I started building up walls because it saddened me too much to see what was happening with him. Something drastic happened. I was deeply sad, confused, and bewildered, but at the same time, it couldn't have continued that way.
Now, in all the polls that I was reading in Countdown magazine, you know, when it came to Sexiest Man, you won.
Is there a category for that?
Yeah.
She used to have a picture of Michael on the fridge long before they got together, and I think it said Love Dog on it.
You were saying that earlier on that in Australia, the music is more important than image, and in England, everyone's very concerned about your trousers. I'm not surprised. They look a little tight to me. Now, how would you describe the
I music? think Bob wrote fuck above it once, and so she got a new picture.
Bob and Paula were probably the most famous showbiz couple in Britain.
Gotta go off and do stuff. Give the kids my love.
I will. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.
Paula just fell out of love with him. And then one day, Michael was there.
This is a guest that has everything that a rock star needs to have. Danger, talent, curly hair, and Australian subtlety.
Short of them being naked on the show, it couldn't have been more obvious. The two of them had enormous sexual chemistry.
Hi.
Hi. What are you, a big sex symbol or something? Hi.
She was fabulous. She was the cross between Marilyn Monroe and Mary Poppins.
Album out at the moment.
Yes, I do.
And crikey, I really want to talk to you about that.
I bet you do.
He called me up and he said, Martha, I don't care what you're hearing or reading. This is the greatest thing for me. He sounded like a different person.
He said he loved having a family, which is one of the things that Michael fell madly in love with her about, her kids and the way she was with them. And the sense of security he got from her, that she would look after them all.
I don't think it had occurred to Michael that this was going to happen. He was witnessing the breakup of a family that he was responsible for, which had a deep impact on him because of his own upbringing. I don't think he could ever forgive himself for what he had done and took it out on Bob Geldof, but it was really a reflection of anger and shame.
How's life been? Have you had a bad couple of years, or have you enjoyed it, or had a nightmare? What's been going on?
Yeah, part nightmare, part fantastic.
Okay.
You know, bit of both, really.
Do you ignore it all?
I try.
Water off a duck's back?
I've always sort of ignored it all, you know, as much as I can, but after a while it just kind of gets in your face.
Because Bob was Sir Bob, Paula was then cast off into social Siberia. And she felt that hard because she'd always been so loved and adored by the public.
Your current beau sort of beats people up.
He sometimes gets a bit cross.
And if the photographers come in and they're from the wrong organisation and you haven't sold it.
It seems to have upset the pseudo-moralities of the editors of the tabloids. It's more the kids that I worry about. I love them, they love me. I'm not their dad, I'm their S-dad, as they call me, or Michael.
Martha, she's beautiful. Martha, she's beautiful. Martha, I've never loved somebody like that. It was magical. It just was something that changed him completely.
Thanks, and hoping your time for the best. It's beautiful. I mean, it's fantastic. I'm on cloud nine, you know, what can I say?
She's amazing. She's never cried. She sleeps with us. We wake her up in the morning. She just hangs out. We call her Tiger. Tiger Lily's one of her names.
Hello. Hi, gorgeous. No. Hi. Hi.
He loved her. She was his world. He'd carry around a clock with her face on it. She moved her finger, she moved her toe, and you could get him to stop talking about it. It was a wonderful thing.
And he would sing to her and make her dance.
Her name's Heavenly Hirani Tiger Lily Hutchence.
Wow, a lot of H's in there.
Yeah,
She's her own 4-H club almost.
Almost, yeah.
He would light up, unlike anything I'd ever seen. To watch him like that was so wonderful because there were days that he was not happy.
Now, when you go on tour, will she come with you?
No, she just left yesterday, actually, back to London with her mom, Paula, and she comes out for a week here, a week there, you know.
Yeah.
Can't do it too long.
No. Is she sleeping through the night yet?
She's great. No, she's, honestly, it's my first baby, and she's just perfect. I mean, I can't believe it. You know, everybody's like, the band's like, you wait till you have kids, and then I'm like, great, typical Michael. She sleeps all night. She just laughs in the day and giggles and smiles, never cries. I don't know, some people say you make your luck. Yeah. I kind of believe in a sort of cosmic, I mean, I believe in God, and I, you know, so your stars line up, and sometimes everything in life clicks, and sometimes you're fighting against nature itself, you know.
And the winner is the best video, Oasis Wonderwall.
Has-beens shouldn't present fucking awards to gonna-bees.
What happened with Oasis at the Brit Awards? What was that?
I don't know, he says crap all the time like that to everyone. The funny thing is Liam was saying to me, hey, mate, you know, really love you, I really love you, you know.
That crushed Michael. It was devastating, that moment in his life.
So, new album.
Yeah.
Michael Hutchence découvre son propre nouvel album. C'est un scoop dans Taratata.
Full Moon Dirty Hearts was 93, so what took you so long? They were massive worldwide, and to go completely the other way, that was really hard on them, and really hard on Michael. They were hoping Elegantly Wasted would be the album that would turn things around.
What do you say to the people who are writing you off and who are saying you're a heavily embarrassed? How do you answer these people?
Fuck you, fuck off.
I was arrested. Paula was arrested. I went into the court and applied for custody of the children. Yeah, it's surreal.
They ransacked her house while she was away. The nanny let this awful woman in, and then they searched the house.
First call was very irrational. They're gonna arrest me, they're gonna try to take Tiger. Paula has to go back. It scared him like nothing has ever scared him.
Leaving the High Court in London tonight, an unsmiling Bob Geldof, reportedly seeking an emergency order about the future of his 3 children.
Well, I've just come back to fight for custody of my children. I've had to leave Tiger behind in Australia with her dad and her grandparents, which obviously I didn't want to do. As for the so-called investigative reporting this in the Mirror, suffice to say there's an entirely different way of looking at this whole series of events. I think we've had live aid and now we're getting lie aid.
Okay, thanks very much, gentlemen.
If it was proven true, Tiger could be taken away from them, and that to him would be the most devastating thing that could ever happen to him. They were in the press every single day. Paula was in court all the time.
They were literally hounded by the press. Nothing they could have done would have been okay.
I'm basically pretty shy, so I find the whole thing nightmarish. You become dehumanized. There's a bullying mentality in England, and a very misogynistic one, and that's scary.
The opium found in the house, bollocks, that was really the beginning of the end, I think. And then they just spiraled into taking more drugs, which she'd never done. She was famously teetotal. Prozac and Valium and heroin. They were a very bad influence on each other.
There were months that Michael would be totally clean, but when he was feeling the pressures of the Paula situation and everything else, it just weighed on him and he wanted to escape.
Oh, let's try heroin. Not needle heroin, but still, that had a horrible effect on him.
He was depressed. I arranged for him to go to a doctor. He got Prozac. I think he was taking more than he was meant to. I think he felt quite isolated here.
He felt he had no real friends, very few people he could count on and trust. I just know he felt very lonely.
For me, I would say don't live in London at all. You just get shanghaied by these guys and exploited, and they make it up as they go along. It's really, I mean, I've always sort of prided myself in trying to be sort of naive about myself and just get on with your own life. And
about leaving and going back to Australia?
yeah, but yeah, I'd love to eventually. But you know, I don't think you should live your life being pushed around by people either. You know, so we'll see.
Okay, well, it's been a real honor meeting you.
Good questions. Yeah.
He wanted to be in England because of Paula and the kids. On the other hand, it's the last place that he wanted to be because of the situation between the press and Paula and him and the baby and Bob.
When Paula was around, it changed the dynamic a lot. She knew how to push his buttons, as often people in relationships do. And she just seemed to hit that button a lot. He just was an emotional wreck. There was a lot of stuff that was kind of heartbreaking because he just wanted to please her. But unless it was all about her, there was a lot of drama, big time.
Apart from I'd like an ice cream, would you guys buy me an ice cream? Oh, I think you've missed it. No, he's right there.
I know he loved her. I mean, he was madly in love with her. And I know he wasn't happy at that time, but I know he still loved her.
When Michael didn't know what to do, time to change because that'll make it better.
Benson!
This was written by a 20-year-old. August 31st, 1997. I got a call from him and he was upset. Apparently, Paula's been trying to break up with him all day. She's clinically depressed and comes from a horrible background. The next day, Michael stopped by. When I opened the door, before I could say hi, we were in the most romantic embrace of my life. September 12th, 1997. Michael phones me and says Paulo's tried to commit suicide. I asked how he was. He said, I'm weird in the head. I said, I bet. He said, no, you have no idea. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't understand what's going on in my head.
If we could face the pain, I could do the same. It would be clear tomorrow. Or would it start? Or would it start again? Oh, yeah.
The phone would ring, and it was her, and I would find another part of the room. You could hear the discord. The emotional roller coaster was so high and so low, and I was retreat from all of that, all of the bad, all of the sadness.
Please, show me some. Saw a mother screaming. She had lost control. What she once believed in.
He was leaving the next day. He crawled up to me on the bed. He said, you worry every time I leave. I said, yeah. He said, you think something's gonna happen to me? And I said, yeah. And he goes, do you think I'm gonna kill myself? And I said, yeah. And he kind of came up and just said, oh, baby, that's not gonna happen.
You know, I mean, you know, life is, it's a, you know, kind of a mess, isn't it? You know, let's face it.
Almost every area of his life was affected one way or another in some kind of turmoil. That tour in Australia, as it was counting down, he had a lot of anxiety about going there. He really didn't want to go.
I was concerned about him. I said, I'll call the promoters and let's just cancel it. And he just couldn't do it because no matter the ups and downs the band had, he loved them.
And Michael had this feeling about Australia. It meant a great deal to him.
He rang me. He said that life was complicated. We arranged to meet up the next day for a late breakfast.
We got talking, and it was just Tiger Lily, Peaches, and Pixie. And when I grabbed his hand across the table, and I said, hey, Mike, I know you're very bubbly tonight and feeling great, but deep down, I know you've got a big worry. And he said, of course I have. Paula's going into court day, try and get an order that she can bring Peaches and Pixie on Sunday with Tiger Lily. But he said, I think we're going to win tonight. And I took him back to the Ritz-Carlton, and he just waved, big smile, and said, happy as anyone.
Any surprises in store?
Yeah, Lisa. Yeah.
When isn't there ever?
Those rehearsals were the best I'd seen Michael in a long time. He'd ridden his Harley Davidson to the studio, came out of the elevator doors on his Harley.
Hey, just because I'm in a good mood now, there's no need to fuck around.
I just said it's been postponed. I can't come until after the 17th of December. He said, I'm going to ring Bob and I'm going to beg him.
Paula spoke to Michael on the phone. She was hysterical. I spoke to Michael. He said to me, just make sure she's okay, will you? I think he was exasperated with the whole thing.
He called early. He was upset and he was angry. Why aren't you there? I didn't hear it till later.
He called me. He was extremely upset and confused. The kids weren't coming to Australia. But it was more than that. He was really confused about where he wanted to be himself in life. I went back to the office and I heard a message. He was just really angry. He said, Martha, I don't give a shit anymore.
When I got home, I heard a different voice. Marth, I need you. So desperate.
He called again. He said he needed to see me. He said everything was fucked up. He'd start crying. He said, I'm supposed to be at rehearsals. I suggested that he try and go to sleep and ring the guys and tell them that he couldn't make it. And he said, yeah, I'll do that. And he said, but will you come anyway? He just sounded so exhausted and totally depleted in the most extreme way. And I got there about 20 minutes later. I went up to the room and there was no answer. I went down and wrote a note, and I just went home thinking he'd fallen asleep.
The phone rang and this reporter said, "Can you make a comment about Michael?" And I said, "About what? The tour?" He said, "No, about Michael." And I said, "Would you please explain yourself?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll ring the PR people." And I hung up. And I just sat there frozen.
And all at once, the studio called me on one line and the tour manager called me on the other line and said,
Okay, Michael, take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Say hello to everybody.
What's that, sorry?
Say hello to everybody.
I will do. Okay, mate. Bye-bye.
Well, I got the first part anyway.
Eyes.
Right, all vowels and...
Mystify.
Okay.
All veins and misty streets of blue. I'm in lust like chill divine. Some silken moment goes on forever, and we're leaving broken hearts behind.
What happens here? Chorus.
In the chorus.
Mystify.
New one, yeah.
You mystify me.
What happens? Repeat it.
Mystify. Mystify me. I need perfection. Some twisted selection that tangles me to keep me alive in all that exists. But none has your beauty. I see your face. Yeah, I will survive. Mystify, mystify me. Yeah, mystify, mystify me. Turn it wild with a power. Making the moment come alive. All the stars shine above you. We'll kiss you every night. All red and misty streets are blue. All the looks like you're divine. Some singing moment that goes on forever. Yeah, we're leaving. Yeah, we're leaving broken hearts behind. Mystify, you mystify me. Yeah, mystify, mystify me. Turn it wild with the power to make every moment come alive. All the stars shine above you. We'll kiss you every night. Mystify, you mystify me. Mystify, mystify me. Sing it. I wanna be loved by you, nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you, be-do, be-do, ba-ba-be-do. I'm sitting in a bar, staring at the universe that's in my drink. The motion of my straw is stirring anti-clockwise in the glass. I recall the moments well, and I raise my glass to you. Held me in your arms and saved me from despair. As I'm older and more stupid, the years have etched stupidity into my skull. I condemn my foolishness and I raise my glass to you. Yeah, the world is packed and murder is a madman. They promise us a slow, slow death. Those who torture with a smile, I don't like their idea of business at all.
If this program has raised personal concerns, you may wish to contact one of these services for further information or advice. Lifeline 13 11 14. Beyond Blue 1300 22 4636.